A lot.
A lot happening, man. There's so much to catch up
Yes.
on. I know we've been having conversations, but I'm excited to continue the conversation live for other folks to kind of hop in and share their opinion as well.
Yeah, it's like we talk every other day, and every time I'm like, oh man, we should have captured this somewhere. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
so we got new drops coming. All this month has been crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
from new apps to new pro apps to new gear.
Bro. Bro.
It's just like I don't know, man. 2024 is going to be a very interesting year for creators, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to see more. Not that we don't already have professional users on the platform already. I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of what we have in the community are more so enthusiasts, especially just the more and more I talk about um, where we are
Yeah.
in the mobile beat making and iPad OS beat making community, the more I start to see where people are not really focused on monetizing the music that they're creating,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of sets apart the enthusiast from the professional. I need this,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know,
In order
type
to
of
level
user.
up what I'm doing to
Exactly.
I've thought about this. I know both of us tuned into either some or most of what Henny had to say on the matter, and I thought it was super insightful. And one of the things that resonated with me, like when we first get this news about the subscription based thing, a lot of us were probably thinking like, "Damn, I'd rather drop 200 or 300 up front." Like we all get that. Like I think most 90% maybe of the people probably feel that way. But I'm
Yep.
wondering if like the fact that it's a little bit that it's more expensive and that it's ongoing. I wonder if that's going to like make some of us, I certainly think it's the case for me, make some of us take it a little bit more serious than maybe we ever have if we invest that money. Now we're like, all right, like we're kind of on a mission to make it back somehow versus if it didn't break the bank a little bit more than we wanted, maybe it's we're staying in that hobbyist sort of mentality. So I'm excited about that,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and I think that there's a fine line between the hobbyist and the professional. There's a
Yeah.
huge gap in, bet- in the way that we create, as far as like a lot of people don't really care to make, like I said, monetize from the music they're creating. And some people don't care.
True.
Some people really want to use it for therapeutic purposes or just overall fun,
True.
which is
True.
cool. But when it comes to subscription apps, I think it's a bit unfair to the person that just wants to make music for therapy or
Mm.
for fun purposes. And
Well, let me say something on that because I agree with that, and I wonder because there are so many, as we both know, so many ways to make music, and it's super accessible when it comes to the $2 or even I mean the free app, the GarageBand, or the $3 or $5 Koala or whatever. I wonder if this is going to help us delineate between the two groups of people, right? If it's going to be like I don't know. I think we're saying the same thing, right? It's like if you don't have any intent to like take the music super serious and you do it for fun, like that's perfect. That's and do it for therapeutic reasons. That's perfectly fine. Then maybe Logic and these pro apps aren't even for that person, and they could be for that
right.
person. They could try it out. They can determine if they, the free 30-day or whatever. But I wonder if like it's super accessible as is. Um, I don't know. It's just gonna be interesting, man. So, like, are you more? You're certainly more excited about Logic, I would imagine, than Final Cut.
I think it's an equal toss up because
Okay.
I got my start on Final Cut when I first started editing videos for
Oh wow.
school.
Okay.
It was on Final Cut, and that was back in 2009, 2010.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah, and even with Logic, I started making beats in Logic when I got my first MacBook in 2009,
Yeah.
and that was the white unibody MacBook, regular MacBook, and I graduated from GarageBand to Logic Pro because I knew how how much more in depth I could get with the manipulation of my music and time stretching and all that stuff. Even before it was a thing, I knew that
Yeah,
I could.
yeah,
Before it was a automated, you know, feature.
yeah,
There was workarounds that I could do as opposed to the free version. Logic Pro Lite, which is
yeah, yeah.
GarageBand.
Yep.
Um, so I think I'm equally excited about both.
Hmm.
Um,
I could say I'm in the same
probably
exact category as you. I would say, like, very,
yeah,
very
probably
curious.
more so Logic than yeah. I guess you would say it would be Logic
Hmm.
more than Final Cut because I'm already engulfed into the workflow of Luma Fusion. Luma
Yeah,
Touch has been really really clutch in the way that I could consistently pump out
yeah,
client work as well as
yeah.
videos for myself. Um,
It works extremely well. Now, is there anything with
already.
Luma that and just so you know, I decided I'm gonna take this mobile, like more mobile than I currently am, which is since this didn't work and the whole setup didn't work here. We got a
Ah,
message, not gonna be here for long, but glad didn't miss this one. Save my spot. Hey man, appreciate you. Thank you for hopping on, man. Appreciate you. Hopefully you get some good insights and just some good vibes. I mean, basically, right? You know what I'm saying,
yeah,
Brandon? Like some good vibes from some good brothers here. But I'm
absolutely.
gonna like pack this stuff up. I'm gonna like walk around here and hold this as we're talking. I think that's gonna be more fun and more dynamic as well.
Yeah,
Get the
that'd be
blood
cool.
flowing. But I wonder about I wonder about
You
yeah,
were saying
basically
what
30
what is
days
Luma Fusion?
what the process is going to look like for me personally using something like Final Cut Pro, which will be my first time using it. And basically, like the big question for me, it's probably even more a lot more curiosity with Final Cut than it is with Logic at this point, just because I mentioned to you like musically, I kind of back in my creative groove with the OPZ and been enjoying using that a lot. So I'm not going to like have something just come in and derail that yet.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm just curious about like basically taking those 30 days and being like, look, like I'm wondering if look, my bad. I'm wondering if taking 30 days to learn Final
That's what
Cut,
I was gonna say. I was gonna mention that.
yeah, it's gonna make things just more enjoyable for me, like more
Yeah,
enjoyable from a
it's not.
video editing perspective. You don't think so, huh?
No, no, no,
Why
no.
do you say that?
Well, for some it might be.
Mm-hmm.
That was the point that I started to make on my first impressions of my video about the Logic Pro. I believe that if you're already using Logic Pro on desktop or even
Mm,
GarageBand, if you're already
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
familiar with GarageBand on iPad, then you'll be right at home.
Mm,
And it makes a lot more sense for you to invest into Logic Pro, whether it was subscription based or not. It would make
sure,
more sense.
sure.
Um, but and I keep hearing people saying that bye bye Cubases or bye bye Beatmaker 3, and it's like hold on,
Yeah,
calm, calm down,
yeah.
because if you're gonna base your ability to learn a completely different DAW that you've never touched. You don't even like GarageBand, and you're expecting to love Logic for $5 a month,
Mm,
and determine that within a month.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then
Oh yeah.
you're gonna have some people really really feeling shitty about Garage or Logic Pro on an iPad. You know,
It could take
they're
longer, is what you're saying. It can take much longer
yeah,
than
yeah, for you
it
to
will
fall in
take
love with that
longer.
process. Yeah.
Totally, totally.
Especially if, like I said, if you didn't like GarageBand, if you're not a GarageBand person, you're not
Yeah,
gonna love Logic,
that's what
especially in
I'm
a month.
curious about. That's what I'm curious about. And I hear you there, right? Because it's like the skeleton, from what I understand. It's like a much, I guess GarageBand is like a much stripped down version, but the workflow is kind of similar, I think, from
Very
my
similar.
understanding. Very
Yeah.
similar. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I guess the point I was gonna make is like, and I may have mentioned this to you on the phone when we originally spoke, but from the video editing perspective, things to like I'm curious about what they were talking about, like AI, for example, like ways to make the video editing process maybe quicker, writing on the screen for text, like things like that. For me, like when I'm making this might sound maybe like, yo, just stop being so lazy kind of thing, right? But like with LumaFusion, if I'm doing one of these five, like my 5 best tips for this or whatever the case is, 9 times out of 10, like I know people like seeing the, thing number one on the screen, and then it shows it like the text on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm yearning so hard or bad or whatever. I'm yearning so strongly for like the ability to like when I'm watching this video as while I'm editing to just write with my Apple Pencil on the screen like some cool graphics right there, and maybe even as I'm writing, it's like you can choose if you want it to like animate to show the writing or if you just want the text. Something so, yeah, I'm gonna say simple, but I'm sure it's not as simple as I'm making it sound
And
from
so
to implement it.
I'm glad you
But
brought that up because
yeah.
Luma Fusion it gives you what you need, and I wouldn't say nothing more, nothing less, but
Hmm.
with their introduction of Final Cut Pro and Logic is a
Hmm.
pro workflow, things that us as content creators use daily that we wished were there.
Hmm.
Professionally doing these things consistently,
Yeah.
that those type of apps provide those missing features, as opposed to I just want to get in, I just want to stitch this together, I just want to do that, I just want, you know what I
Hmm.
mean, like it
Gotcha.
gives you. So what I feel like is missing from LumaFusion is a lot of the manipulation part.
Mm.
We have the EQ, we have the EQ control, we have the multiple audio sources and all that stuff. But as far as manipulation, what I've seen in the Final Cut, of course, it's going to take a lot more RAM and a different chipset to be able to do these things. But they're real time taking. It's almost like the pluck feature, like when you press and hold on a picture inside a
Oh,
you know what I
Photos
mean? Like
app. Yeah,
yeah,
dude. Yep,
this
but
is
you can do
real
that in
time
video
video.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're
That's
putting stuff in backgrounds and stuff like that,
yep.
or something as simple as even um, transforming the way a picture in picture shows up. So warping
Mm.
the way a picture in picture is inside
Wait,
of the.
elaborate on that a little bit. You mean
So you on LumaFusion you have a flat square,
uh-huh.
and when you bring picture in picture in, it's another flat square that
Mm-hmm.
is overlaid over your over your current picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Final Cut Pro, you can actually warp the edges or the corners to fit a um certain shape, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
oh, like a
Like
diamond.
like scaling. Yeah.
Okay, and have okay. I know what you mean. I guess I wasn't sure. I didn't know exactly what that term meant, but I've heard it before, and I
So
know what
like
you're describing.
for example, like if I wanted to make my iPad screen almost like a hologram, or like a, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
almost Iron Man type, as I'm moving things around in the air,
Okay.
waving
Sure.
my
Sure.
hands around.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, you can't do that in Luma Fusion, because
Hmm.
it just doesn't warp that way. It would just look like flat images, you
Okay.
know.
Okay. Okay.
You have to do that in another program, and then do that in another program, and then pull it in from, you know.
Got you. Got you. Got you.
But
Dude, there's gonna be, so we got 523. So what are you gonna do? Are you like purchasing the year for both of them straight away? Are you doing like a 30-day trial on one first and then another one
well,
after?
we get the 30-day trial from the jump.
Yep.
Everybody's going to get the 30-day trial, whether you're going to purchase it or let
Mm.
the month lapse, right?
Okay. Okay.
Um, I think I know for a fact that I'm gonna just go ahead and do the year, because last week I got paid from beats 2 years ago that are paying for things that I'm buying today,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and that's my perspective on it. Like, you get in 4 years, if you haven't made $200
Mm.
off of your music that you're
Yeah.
creating inside these paid apps,
Yeah.
if it's not paying for itself, then you don't need it. You
Sure.
don't need it. And
Makes sense.
that's kind of the approach that I took, even talking with Henny, that I took with buying into the teenage engineering ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not gonna pay for itself, do I actually need it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Well,
mean? Like if investing in it doesn't bring me some type of value, even if it's not monetary, if it doesn't
yeah,
bring
yeah,
me a
yeah,
value that actually pays for itself,
yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
do I really
Then you
need
have
it? So
to. Well, what speaking of TE, what are your thoughts? I know we said we're going to hold our thoughts. I'm very curious to know, like, from your perspective on the TP7, that recorder, from someone who didn't know anything about it, like the
yeah,
rest of the world, and then you wake up this morning and you see. First of all, did you know that they were? I don't know if you follow them to the extent I do or not, but like Super Booth, I'm sure you know about the event. And did you
hmm
have an idea that they were unveiling something today?
I didn't. I didn't
Okay.
until you said it last night.
Mm, mm, got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Uh
yeah.
huh.
So I was hoping for something different.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Such as.
I was actually looking for a headphone from
Oh,
Teenage Engineering.
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Which they have the one, but something better than the one that they currently have, right?
something more
With a little
Teenage
more.
Engineering.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, something that I would justify paying money for. I collect headphones, so
Okay.
and then
How many
not
pairs do
just
you have? About like over 10, like quality ones like that, or
so I have at least five from one specific company.
okay?
Um,
You're not going to name them because this is not an affiliate. That same
yeah,
person you were
yeah, yeah.
mentioning that
I don't get no.
yeah, not a person in
But
a Facebook group is gonna be like, yo, this guy's, oh, he's the one person watching now. He's gonna be like, yo, this guy's over here just promoting his affiliate links over here in this
yeah,
video.
exactly, man. That's another crazy conversation. But yeah, I
Yeah.
have at least five of these headphones
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
from one specific company, which I really really like,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm hoping to find a very similar feeling with a teenage engineering uh, situation for headphones, because what I
Mm-hmm.
currently use for and I'm wearing them right now. I'm wearing the brand right now, which is
Sure. Sure.
Mastering Dynamic.
Okay.
But what I currently use for the teenage engineering is the um,
Oh, those look dope.
MG20s.
Same company.
Same company.
Okay.
Um, Very premium build quality. They're not cheap. Um, Feature packed. Um,
What does
just
feature pack mean in headphones? What other stuff besides being able to get good quality? Are they like wireless too or something or what?
So they are wireless. They're Bluetooth. These are actually marketed as gaming headphones. These ones specifically,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
and because of that, that's really why I bought them. Because of the features that come with gaming headphones, I just so happen to
Okay.
be able to use in my music production. So it comes with
Okay.
a microphone.
Got
Um,
you. Got you. What you can plug
uh,
right in. Can I see that
yeah,
mic?
you can
Is that
plug it
so?
right
That's
in.
similar to the M1 then, huh? Like a little, like just a detachable piece that goes around your ear, close to your mouth, kind of thing.
Yeah, it plugs right into the headset
Okay.
actually, right
Okay.
here
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
they're on, and they're
That's pretty
wireless, the
dope.
whole nine, right?
That's
They
really
match
dope, actually.
they match the
Okay.
OP1 field perfectly.
How
They
much something
work
like those go
perfectly.
for?
These I don't think they sell them in white anymore, so these are
Okay.
extremely rare.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but they sell a different color. I think
Mhm.
black, sand dune, and green for like
Mhm.
I think like 400.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, they're not
Reasonable.
cheap. They're not cheap at all. They're on par with the Apple AirPods Max.
Okay. Yeah.
The
Price
driver,
wise. Uh huh.
yeah, the driver is huge. So you're getting dynamic range, detail, the whole nine,
Sure.
just premium stuff.
Sure.
Exactly what you pay for is exactly what you're getting with those, and that's kind of what I was looking for from Teenage Engineering. To go back to
Gotcha.
the original question,
So you were
um,
disappointed this morning. You
I
were like,
wasn't so much
no, no, no.
disappointed. It's just
Yeah.
I'm still impressed because
Yeah.
the the innovation that comes from TE is like,
That's the word, bro.
man.
Innovate.
And then not only innovation, but just the nostalgia that they bring with it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even thinking
Mm-hmm.
about the OP1 field. I, I probably should save a lot of these comments for my official review, but even with the
Mm,
field, I get a
hmm.
lot of nostalgia from things that my dad has owned, as
Oh,
far as
that's dope.
hardware,
Yeah, yeah,
samplers,
yeah.
and stuff like that, right?
Right,
And
right.
and so when they brought that out, and I think you posted a picture of like the old Home Alone, uh,
Yeah, the Talk Boy. I was just
the
gonna
talk,
say. Yeah,
man, and
man.
and now that brought back so many memories because I had one of those.
Real talk, bro.
It
That's
was a hand me down, but
crazy.
I had that,
Yeah,
and
man.
to be
Yep.
able to have that in a more durable, modern, updated, just all the things that they're bringing,
Mm-hmm.
it's just it's it's a time to be alive, man. It's a great time to be alive, and it's just like I don't think that they understand. Well, I'm no, they do understand because the way they priced it. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
these are
Ain't
modern
no joke.
classics.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
creating modern classics, and
Princess, what
um,
up?
hey,
Princess saying hey in the chat. Yeah, one of my patrons and biggest YouTube supporters out there.
oh
Thank you,
man,
Princess, for joining. Well, I was gonna say this, man. Something I thought about with regards to this recorder. Um, and this is like one of several use cases that I plan to use it with.
yeah,
Um, but there are pretty much on a daily basis or several times a week, there are like things that happen in the Allen household, specifically like things that my wife says that are like hilarious. And then I'm like, I don't want our whole world necessarily being online, but like I'll be quick to like get my phone and like try to capture moments and then like do
yeah,
something with it. And then my wife is like, no, you got to show me how I look in the video first. And then I'm like, oh man, but this is so funny. We can't recreate it, blah, blah. So it's like a whole thing, right? So one
yeah,
of the things that I thought would be incredible is a way to be able to capture audio on in that exact moment, okay,
mm,
and then be able to, and this is like a continuation on what like basically like an added thing that would need to be developed. Maybe someone eventually might develop it, but I would pay a nice monthly fee or one time to have access to some type of way. Think about this for a second, right? So my wife and I are having a conversation. I just hit this record button. It captures both of our audios. It knows my voice versus hers, so it knows that it's two different people talking. And then I can upload this into some program that also has a picture of me and a picture of her, and it automatically creates like a little, doesn't even need to be robust, but just some kind of like animated version of me talking and then animated version of my wife talking. And it makes it into like a shareable content. That would
yeah,
be something that would be like a dream come true. We don't have to worry about how we look. It's just what we say. And people, I think people would like, everyone always tells me that, like the content on my page, like what they like, more Jess, please. I'm like, what about me? Like, this is my page. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no,
yeah,
they want to see more of those interactions. So like, I don't know. That's a strong thing that I'll be able to at least get the audio now. And bro, I had a chance to go to the city. I don't know if I told you this, but to meet with some folk from TE when they were out here a few weeks ago, and that's when I saw this for the first time. And as you know, you already know, you know that like if you get a chance to hold it and like try it out, it's going to be some
you gotta have
crazy.
it.
It's like there's a reason that it's that price. I didn't know what they were pricing it at. I knew it was going to be up there, but I didn't know the exact price.
Yeah,
But
everything is like over $1,000, man. It's just like, what are
yeah,
you guys doing to my
right,
pockets?
right. It's
And
crazy.
it's not
It
like
is.
I can. It's not like a product that you can say no to. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like you know what I mean? Like it's not like something that you don't need or don't want. It's like it's like you gotta have that. That's exactly what I was looking for, type thing.
Is that right? Meaning the recorder for
Well,
you?
the recorder for me wasn't a me thing, but the specifically the TX6 mixer
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. For sure, for
has
sure.
been
Yeah,
what
I
I've been
mean,
looking for years.
okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, there are certain features on the TX6 that I'm still discovering, I'm still learning that are just like not talked about that often. One of them
Hmm.
is a really robust and well executed ducking feature for your headphone out. So when I'm using those M1s, or I'm gonna really look at. I mean, I'm not gonna buy those for 400. I'm gonna see if I can get my hands on them, something like what you're talking about, because
Yeah,
like, dude, this what, not the aux port, what is it, like, it's like the headphone out port. that you can have a pair of headphones like the M1s or what you just showed. They have this feature that not only can you put effects in your voice like delay and reverb and all that if you want it, and it sounds really, 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 really good, but you can also duck, which means, as you know, you could have your voice go over whatever's coming in. And for me
Yeah.
as a live streamer or a content creator, imagine like doing a live stream, which I'm probably, as long as I got a little more juice in this phone after our conversation, I'll probably sit down and like do like a 30-minute live stream on my channel just to, like I said, flex those muscles a little bit out here. I mean, and look,
Hmm.
Wi-Fi seems like awesome right now. Like I'm no issues. Like I'm walking around, I'm mobile. So this is like really inspiring for me, encouraging.
Yeah.
But dude, like imagine that during a live stream and like you want to give shout outs to people like DJs might or whatever in the chat,
Yep.
and you don't have to turn the volume down. You just say it and it ducks and it sounds, dude, it sounds so good. There's also a gate feature on there that I didn't understand what it was for, but it works extraordinarily well. Someone told me that you can use it kind of as a noise cancellation. And so the way the gate
Okay.
feature works is if you enable it, it will like zero out any sound when no sound is coming into the mic. But then when you talk, then it like opens up the sound. So essentially, what I'm saying is
Mm,
like you're in a cafe, there's ambient music. If you're just sitting there not saying anything, it's gonna like shut it out completely, and you'll
nice.
only hear that background noise when you're speaking, and that works very, very
Oh, that
well
would be
too.
perfect for podcasts too.
Yo,
Podcasts in a public place.
yes, dude. Yep, and yeah, there's so much to
Right.
love about it. Big fan. And I didn't, and I think the text I sent you yesterday was important too to even mention. I might even do a video on it. I probably will on my channel. But I was like, yo, out of everything that I have from TE, there's certain things that I have that I would have spent money on, like my own money for that price point, and there's certain
Hmm.
things that I wouldn't. For me, right now, it's the Z because I'm obsessed with it right now. Every night, I've been in this creative groove, sitting in my comfortable chair in the bedroom at the end of the night, just my headphones, same ones I have on here, and
Yeah.
just that, and just like making some music and getting back into creating again. I haven't been creating that much. I love it so much, and that's the only piece of equipment that I bought from them. That was my first piece of equipment. So that would be something I would gladly pay the 600 or whatever for. And then there's two other things right now for me personally with my use case. It would be the OB4. I'm obsessed with that. I didn't pay for that, but I would now knowing what it's capable of and how much I love using it, like
Hmm.
so much. That would be the other thing. And then the TX6 would be like almost definitely, I probably wouldn't just get it right away, but almost definitely I would like pay the money for that because Brandon, you said it right, man. Modern classic, like that's kind of what this is, and it's so applicable for a lot of the stuff that I do and you do. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, that's my
It's
thought.
interesting what people find because I'm hearing you say that the OPZ. I do not find that one attractive at all.
The way it
So it's
looks
yeah, no, or the way it
and the way the
operates.
workflow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's interesting to see how many options people have and how people
Mm-hmm.
get inspired by the different things. You know,
That's right.
the way you would use, and that was one of the reasons why I stayed away from so much content when it comes to the teenage engineering stuff. I don't watch other people's content for that. You know,
Mm,
I don't want to adopt. I don't even want to accidentally adopt anybody else's workflow when it comes to that
mm.
because of
Interesting.
how intricate it is, because of
Yeah.
how um experimental it can become. I just want to stumble upon stuff and then
Mm.
create my workflow from that.
What works for you?
Yeah, yeah. And so
I get it. I get it.
um having not watched any content from that and still being able to create on it the way I do, and that's the part that's impressing me the most. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that I can pick it up and still make something crazy without having knowing what the hell I'm doing or what I don't have any intention on doing
Okay.
what I ended up coming up with.
Okay. And that, so I'm curious. I'm curious about that because what you just described is how I feel about the Z, right? Where I have it
That's yeah, okay.
standalone. It's exactly that. It's like, yo, how did I do this? Like, it's almost
Yeah,
like part of it, it feels like luck, and it's just messing around a little bit. Like I kind of know what I'm doing,
yeah.
but I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was going to sound like that if I add this step component there. But now that I know it does, like this sounds crazy. Like that's how
And,
I feel.
And so
you know?
with other devices, especially like the iPad, I'm finding myself repeating the same thing over and over and over again because
Yeah.
my workflows are already um, suggested.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
I
So
get it.
when you
Sure.
jump into Beatmaker 3, you want to drag drums in, you want to do this and you want to do
Mm.
that because it's already it's laid out.
Mhm.
As
Mhm.
opposed to the OP1, it's like you gotta create from scratch. You gotta pull something in from nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Word. I hear you
So
loud and clear. So
yeah,
I'm curious to know, like, and I was even gonna field this question maybe to, like, I don't know, on Discord or maybe even on YouTube, just to get other people's opinions. See, I'm different than you when it comes to the experimentation aspect. I was like more curious about what other people are doing with the one, so that I can kind of I can try things out and see which of these workflows kind of works for me. And specifically in these two buckets of I've kind of, you know, observed and asked questions and stuff, and I see that, like, with the OP1 field, there's one bucket of people, or one category of people, who have that, or the original OP1, who use it to as like a standalone thing to either create full on tracks or full on ideas just with that. And then there's another category of people, so meaning they're adept at, you know, learning how to record to tape specifically on there, like not connecting it to something else until maybe after. And then
yep,
there's another category of people who don't do that, who use the OP1 with their DAW or as an instrument to
mm,
punch in drum sounds and, you know, connect it to, like, Henny, Loopy Pro, or like
yep,
others I've seen, like with Ableton and stuff like that. And
yep.
so I'm curious. I think I know the answer, but, like, from your workflow perspective, it sounds like you're more of the former. You're using it standalone to create stuff, and then you're maybe bringing it somewhere else, right?
So yeah, so just to give a little background, my dad has been using tape to create since before
Oh,
I was born, right?
okay,
And
fire.
he had this Tascam 4 channel mixer, and
Mm,
that's why the OP1 is so, it resonates with me so much because I come from a background of watching my dad create and overdub and stuff
mm-hmm.
like that on a 4 channel mixer, actual tape, right?
That's amazing. Yes. Okay, I see where you're going.
There was a Tascam, I think it's called the Porta 5 or the Porta 6.
Okay.
And
Wow.
so now here we are 30 years later, he's now pulling things off of that. And I get to sample it and recreate. I get to
Mm,
recreate his beats that he made
insane.
before I was
Yeah,
born.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, or use them in my beats. And so I
Wait,
started
wait,
using
wait,
the
wait. Are
OP1.
you saying that the music that he's created from years ago, that he's created in the style that you said, you're able to take some of that stuff and, like, create on your OP1 using some of that?
No, not on the OP1. Just I've sliced them in on the iPad in Beatmaker 3.
Okay, okay,
I've
okay,
used them
okay,
in full songs that I've written.
okay.
I've used,
Gotcha,
as like the foundation track and build on, put,
gotcha,
trap drums on top of them and all types of stuff, right?
gotcha. Yep,
So
yep.
my idea with the OP1 was the same exact workflow.
Okay,
I can create modern vintage pieces that I can still go ahead and pull from the OP1, and it's already dirty, it's already warpled, it's already vintage undertones to it,
okay,
and I can still use it as a sample, if you will.
okay.
I'm
Gotcha.
and for people who don't know, I've made a living um creating private sample packs. So
Okay.
that's literally how I make, I want to say 40% of my income.
Private sample
I sell
packs.
samples to mainstream artists or mainstream producers, um, and yeah, so I'm creating loops all day. I don't put them
Mm,
on Splice. I don't put them. These are exclusive private loops
mm,
that I'm creating. So being
gotcha.
able to create in a way that nobody else is doing,
Mm,
that sets me apart, and it gives me a
for sure.
completely different sound.
Gotcha.
So the OP1 has afforded me, that vintage sound that I don't have to, I don't have to go to the vintage effects section. Um,
Wow. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it does it on its own.
Wait, so do you use the I'm assuming you're using some of the new additional tape styles, like the Porter one, like the ones that had that sound already with
Yep.
it. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
And that's why
So
and that's
that's
why I
dope.
said a little bit of background for that workflow. I've watched my dad do that exact same thing with the actual hardware.
Yeah. See,
And,
I can't wait to watch
oh, my
your
review is
video
gonna be
on it.
crazy.
Dude, there's so much. There's probably not. I would assume. I mean, I have no idea, but I would assume there aren't very many people who can say what you're saying. That there's like this added element of nostalgia and understanding and acceptance, not acceptance, but appreciation of
Yeah.
like when I saw Porter. I'm like basically when I saw these other tape styles, I'm like, cool. There are additional tape styles, but like, why the would I ever want to use anything with lower quality than studio? That's my thought until I saw to you,
Man,
and now you're
there's
like,
a
no, 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 no.
whole new
There's a reason for
world.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the secrets. It's like um and I know you're familiar with the MSX sound design, MSX
Fly tape.
audio stuff, fly
Mm-hmm.
tape and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, shout out to them real quick, man. We had a little not issue, but like we had a little thing where a while ago, I'll put it out there, but I yeah, just shout out to them. A while ago, they were a company that I reached out to do like a partnership kind of thing with, just like I do
Hmm.
with every single one of the other iOS app companies that I reached out to,
Hmm.
and they were the I mean, I'll put it out there. It is what it is. They were the only one to respond back in a way that was like very to me. It was very unsavory in the sense of they felt because I think I asked them, if they were interested, code for me, and like if you want to do I forget exactly how I worded, but if you want to do a collaboration with a giveaway or whatever for my viewers, just like I do with every other company, and like
Hmm.
90% of companies were fully down for it for obvious reasons. Like, okay, you have an audience, like that's beneficial for both. But they kind of made it sound as though I was looking for a handout, like a freebie kind of
Okay.
thing, right?
Okay.
and
Okay.
I got that, and I put two and two together, and that really affected me for a while because I'm like, damn, like the only reason I reached out to them is I know that they're brothers, brothers, us brothers, meaning right, of course,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
who developed this, who are app developers. I'm like, yo, that would be like good for me. Like I would feel good about partnering with them, not because I needed to or really felt that desired, like I wanted to do it, and then to get that response and them being the only company that are black men, it just I was like, dang, like, but I had time to kind of reflect on it and think about it. But I just wanted to give them a shout out because their product is fucking incredible. I love
Yeah.
Fly
Yeah.
Tape
Yeah.
too.
And
It's
from
so
a
good.
business standpoint, from I learned this even from Henny too. When you walk in a room and your ask is usually bigger than your give,
Hmm.
it's kind of off-putting, especially to
Yep.
established brands and stuff like that.
Yep.
So yeah, I had to be a lot more careful about how I approach brands or how I approach individuals. Period.
100%.
When it comes to that, because it can't come off as handoutish or what can you do for me versus
100%.
how we can benefit each other. So yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
yeah, MSX Audio, they're cool people, man. My guy M
Hmm.
Sim, that's family,
Hmm.
man. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
yeah, real good people over there. But yeah, yeah, that their fly tape and even the what's the other
Yeah.
one?
What's the other quick? Because I've only used
Um,
Fly Tape 2,
I
but I don't
use
know.
it
They
all the
have
time.
Yeah, it's
Low
extremely
fly dirt.
fun to use. Oh yes, yes, okay, I've heard that. I haven't checked that one out. That's more of
Yep.
an effects. Like what is that one kind of do?
It does exactly what we're talking about. It brings the vintage grunge. It brings the
Okay.
distortions and the it brings out color. It brings out a lot of texture and saturation to something
Mm,
that is all to the to everything that is almost digitally too sharp, if that
I
makes
see.
makes
I got
sense.
you. I got you. So you could put
So
something like that over like a complete track, or you would use it
Man,
only on certain?
I use it like black people use seasoning salt, bro.
Yeah, yeah, I got
I'm
it.
putting it on everything. Like I'm dunking
Word,
it on everything.
word, word.
And from drums to vocals to whatever, it's just like the secret sauce to
Mm,
getting away from the digital sharpening. So if
mm-hmm. Gotcha.
if we're in terms, if we're talking photos and videos and stuff like that, it's like the same way you would put like cinematic LUTs or film grain
Mm,
over your video,
got
just to
you,
give it that, you know what I mean,
got
like
you.
that cinematic
Sure.
film grain look, that old VHS style uh, tape effect, right?
Here's a question for you. Not random, but I mean, it's random. It just came up in my head. So, who is one person that if you saw, oh shoot, Kev or Chordmaster interview so and so, like I gotta tune into this. Who's one person just off the top of your head that you would love and be super interested to see me talk to?
Right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't really um,
Mm-hmm.
looked into a lot of content. I stepped away from the social medias and the uh, just content consumption, just so
Mm-hmm.
I can
Mm-hmm.
get refocused. But it would probably be decap.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, it would probably
I'm
be
working.
decap.
I'm working on him, yo. That's my guy right there. Like I've done a review on knock, which is I guess the way you were describing what you were just saying with low fly dirt. I've used that in a similar way as someone who doesn't have a lot of experience with mixing and mastering, but now is starting to understand the importance of it to kind of give your sounds that fuller sort of thing. That app is incredible. So he's been awesome with supporting and stuff like that. But I've asked him now, like the first time, like I basically invited him to be a guest. I would love to talk to him, and eventually I will. Eventually I will, and he's not against it. He's just super busy with things, but definitely kept the door open to like reach out in a few months or whatever. I would love to like he's inspiring for me in a way where what he's doing with drums, I've thought about wanting to do with my specialty of
Yeah,
chords, but and
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
but I haven't like I don't know exactly what that looks like, but he's like the resident. Like if you think about who knows their stuff about drums, like he's the guy that we all probably think about first. I would imagine in
yeah.
our community. Um, so I got to figure that out. If that's an undertaking that makes sense for me, which that's a kind of I know nothing about app development, but potentially partnering with someone
So
and
not
lending
even
my
just app
knowledge.
development. So when I started doing like the whole YouTuber and freelancing as a sound designer full time,
Yeah, yeah.
um, this was back in, I want to say, 2018, when I started like going deep into sound design.
Mm,
I started seeing a lot of his content and the things that he
mm-hmm,
would say.
mm-hmm,
It's like, yo, that just confirmed that I'm on the right track. You know what I mean?
mm.
So
Such as,
um,
I'm
just
curious.
a lot of the brilliance that he comes up with as far as like shaping and
Mm,
just EQ, the way he would EQ things, or the way he would
mm,
um, just things he would bring out of different attributes of a regular everyday sound, right? Just
gotcha,
brilliance,
gotcha.
just straight
Sure.
up brilliance. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
um, when you can hear that stuff, and with a lot of people started asking me, do I how do I mix and master my tracks? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times I'm mixing it as I'm creating it. So if it doesn't
Mm,
sound right, I'm shaping it into what I
mm-hmm.
need it to be. And so when
In
I
real
was
time.
doing, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was doing all that, a lot of app developers were asking me to do sound design. They were paying me to do um, tweak some of the sounds and their presets and their apps and stuff like that. Um,
Right.
and so that was cool. And then when I would come across Decap's content, it was like, all right, bet I'm on the right track. Or
Mm-hmm.
oh, I never thought about it like that. That makes a lot more sense mathematically. Just the
Mm,
like I said, just the brilliance from his his mindset on
That's dope.
how things
Yeah,
work sonically. It was just pretty
that's
impressive.
that's dope, man. Yeah, yeah. He's definitely, yeah, knows his stuff, and like I said, like super inspiring just to like to be that resident expert on whatever your specific thing is. I think is very appealing and interesting. Um, and something I've been thinking about. And I guess the other thing too is like, okay, resident expert. For me, one of the things that is a lot to it becomes a lot for me because I guess I let it is the fact that I am, excuse me, very ambitious and have these ideas and things that I want to do. Um, and right now, I'm kind of in that season of leaning in a little bit more to fewer and specific things. Like I mentioned to you before, that I think I mentioned during this or maybe during our call, that like every 3 years for me is like it's like time to pivot and try something different. When I used to work at Verizon, every
Mm,
3 years I was changing roles there until year 12, where I like left the company, became a math teacher, did that for 3 years. COVID happened, left that, did the full-time entrepreneur and creator thing. It's been about 3 years that I've been doing that now, and I've been
nice.
feeling like, okay, what's next? What's next? And I have a really good idea. Actually, I could share like what I want to do next is I want to go back in the workforce, but specifically under certain conditions. Not a Verizon, not any old thing, but specifically a company um, that is called TE, right? I'll put it on wax. Like I see myself being there next, and whatever way to
That would
make
be
that happen, bro.
amazing.
Bro, and believe me, like maybe I'll put a comment or something under this. Like I'm gonna make it happen. Like I'm already I'm gonna make that happen. That's what I see for myself. When I was taking counseling and therapy like a few years ago, upon leaving Verizon, just to kind of get my thoughts out and figure out next steps for me and stuff, I mentioned to like during the first day, I mentioned to the therapist like I'm not much of a risk taker. Like I'm actually not a risk taker. I'm someone who's very just kind of go with the flow and not taking unnecessary risks. And she's like, okay, taking notes. And then later on, I tell her about the fact that I left Verizon, six-figure
Mm,
paying job, voluntarily, um, was able to, work remote when I needed, knew what I was
yeah,
doing, but I left that without having anything lined up. And she's like, Kevin, you said you're a risk taker. She's like, oh, you said you're not a risk taker. She's like, that's a risky move. You're talking about wanting to start a family. You left this for nothing. I said, you know what? That's interesting because it never felt like a risk at all. I was like, yo, and
that's
I
the
think that's
beauty of it, man.
it is, bro. I think it's so paramount to like have that level of confidence and assurance that that you're gonna do what it takes to get to wherever you want to get to, wherever that place is. And that's where I'm
So
at
what's
right now.
crazy is I'm coming up on a year
Hmm.
now from when I actually walked away from my actual job and
Right, right.
started doing this fully, right?
Word. Hmm.
Um, this has been, I don't think I had the confidence to do it. I think I was just tired of not doing it.
Mm. Slight
Um,
difference, huh?
I got tired of being at jobs and people telling me I don't belong there.
Right,
Like I should be doing more. Like
right.
I should, you know what I mean? Like they see more in me than I see. And
Sure.
it's like, um,
You
you
hear
know,
that one too
this
many times, and you're like, wait, it's like you keep hearing that, and
it
most
was like
the
it was like in the
majority
Matrix. It was the
total.
Matrix. Like
Oh,
you
okay,
still
your
haven't
favorite
watched
movie,
it.
right?
You still
Not
haven't
innocent.
watched it,
I mean,
man.
I have seen it. I have seen it once when it first came
I
out,
mean,
or like
watch it
around
from
that
this
time.
lens.
I know, I know, I know.
People
Yeah,
were telling me that I was Neo, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then whole
Oh,
time Neo was
literally.
like oblivious to it. Like, what do you mean? She's
Yeah.
like, you move like they do.
Hmm.
And I'm
Hmm.
like, and so the realization of me doing that, and the parallel I'm making to that was the
Hmm.
realization of me leaving and doing this and jumping into it. Hell yeah, it was scary. It's still scary every day.
Word,
Every
word.
every day I feel like I'm not doing enough. Feel like I'm not where I want to be. But the
Right.
freedom to believe and the freedom to think and the freedom to be able to create when I need to is more gratifying than just punching somebody's clock just to say I can get paid today.
1,000%. How do you feel now? It's been a year. Like, what are your feelings about it being that's a major milestone? A year.
Yeah, so it's had its ups and it's definitely had its downs. Like I said,
Word.
it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary every day because I
Sure.
never
Sure.
know. I never know how the day is gonna go or how I'm gonna feel creatively
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
And then so I've drawn back on the on camera creation a lot because um I'm more focused on the things that are actually paying me. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that doesn't necessarily come from
Always equate
YouTube all the
to
time, you
sure.
know.
Sure.
And that was
Absolutely.
the weirdest part about our conversation earlier is because people believe that when I share my YouTube videos, I'm doing this for some type of monetary clout or something. Like, no, you
Mhm.
don't get paid
If
that
they knew,
much from
if they knew,
YouTube,
right? If they knew how much money you were making for a video that gets 1,000 views or whatever that number is, like the
man.
YouTube money for ads, it ain't
Those are
it unless if
pennies
you,
compared to
yeah,
what I can get from my
real
actual
talk.
music,
Yep. 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 hundred
you
percent.
know.
Yeah.
Or my skill in sound design or things that I've cultivated because of YouTube,
Right.
um,
Oh,
and
I
the
got one thing to
relationships
share.
I've built because of YouTube.
I got one thing to share with you. Actually,
What's
check
up?
this out. Someone's actually, let's see what's going on over here real quick. Someone's on like some type professional photo shoot. I don't know if you can see. They got like the camera and like the lighting, and it's kind of
Okay,
far
okay.
from over here. That's not what I wanted to share. That just happened to be going on. So every Tuesday. Oh, also look at this. Hang on. There's nice little water over here. Right? Look at some water while I
Oh
share this
dang,
news.
yeah, you in the vibes.
Yeah, word. That's why right after this, I'm about to do some creative ass shit right now, man. Like stand
Yeah.
right here with my OPZ and like just jam out or
So
something.
I used to do that a lot. I used to do that a
Word.
lot. I used to after work. I used to just go to random, places, and that's actually what my goal is this year.
Mm,
Is to start doing the OP1 field trips.
yeah, what you
Um,
stole
I,
from me, right?
man, come on.
What you stole from me, all good. It's all good, man. I can lend that
But
over for a
yeah.
little bit.
So when I start doing those, it's gonna be a series. A lot like how I was doing before, and even it's actually inspired by the new series Henny's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think mine is gonna be a little bit different, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I want it to feel as good as Henny's feels
Mm.
because that
Mm-hmm.
that format of just creating and forgetting,
Mm.
forgetting about the outside noise, man, has always been my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then even a lot of the videos that I've done in the past, I will sit there and I'll create and I'll narrate over it later. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
I might
Yeah, that
interchange
is
it
kind
with
of your
that.
style. I like that style that I see. Like when it's like you're talking about like the video of you doing whatever, but then afterwards you have your microphone and you're talking through maybe what you're doing or whatever. So you're getting
Yeah,
best of both worlds. What I was gonna share too. There's too many goddamn bugs over here. No, no, no. I'm not trying to sit right there. I got to stay on the move. What I was gonna share is every let's see Tuesday, and then we'll wrap up. Actually, that's pretty dope. We're like approaching an hour, or yeah, close to an hour. Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, from now on, like when I call you, like it'll be this way if you're down. Like this is
perfect.
so much better than like you said. Now we can maybe inspire others and have stuff on record for better or for worse and stuff like that. Now
Yeah, yeah.
MSXI is gonna come look at that clip and they're gonna make like a diss record about me or something.
Oh man,
Which
I
no, I'm
hope
just joking.
not, bro.
I mean, look, what did we say earlier? Like having some controversial stuff sometimes ain't the worst. But now, what I was gonna say, what I think is really, really big news for YouTube, which I think will be not huge, but just something that's a really nice addition. So, on your like, do you spend time um, cultivating or editing like your YouTube homepage, or have you in the past like to the playlist? Like, I want people to see this playlist first, et cetera, et cetera.
I used to. You know what,
Right?
man? I think I got lazy with how I present, which is not my most proudest moments lately.
Mm.
but I think
Hmm.
I've gotten lazy with how I present my content, as far as like how people find out about me. Because
Sure.
if I feel like this, I feel like if you found something on my channel and you decide that it's interesting enough that you go exploring,
Sure.
then I think I do so much that um, you're bound to kind of run into something else that catches your attention, right? If
Perfect.
if
That's
if if you found whatever is that and that's what I'm trying to focus on is things that not only content to fill space, but things
hmm
that people actually care about.
as opposed to the things that you specifically want to do that maybe people don't really care that much about.
Actually, I want to do that too.
Okay, both, right?
You know what I
Well,
mean? Yeah,
let me
yeah. I
let me
want.
let me let me say
I
let
just
me say
haven't
this because
had the courage to do that.
this ties into what exactly you're talking about because I too want to do that, right? I too want to have I want to output content that just feels right. Sometimes, there's something timely like what it is that we were opening today's chat about with the big news with iOS, professional apps. There's like timely stuff people are searching for. So it's like, oh, we want to be in the forefront. We have to. And then sometimes there's, I don't know, content that maybe is just something that's not even as related to everything on my channel, but it's just fun and I just want to make a video on that, right? And
Yeah,
people aren't going to search for it, but I still feel good about releasing it. So the reason that what I'm about to say I think is important is that on YouTube's homepage, they are soon going to have a way to have what's called a for you section within a YouTube channel, and you can optionally put that on your own. Hey, what's going on, Resolve? How you doing? You can optionally put that on your YouTube channel page. So what that means specifically is when this is available, I'll be able to go on my YouTube channel and customize it such that I'm probably going to make the top, like right now my top section is a new hair question mark start with this playlist. It's a best of, a little compilation, right? It's like my
okay.
favorite interview, it's like my favorite tutorial or like little bits of everything that I do, maybe a vlog on there as well. So it's kind of a hodgepodge, if you will. um, but what's going to be there instead now is a doing good, love your content. Hey, appreciate that. See, comments like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Love your content. Like, I love that. And thanks for letting me know. And I definitely appreciate that. And I appreciate you being here.
Hit that
So
like button.
yeah, hit that. Yo, hit that. Come on, man. Y'all know what's up.
Hit that
Y'all know
like
what you
button.
need to do.
If
And
you
then,
love
and
it,
then
like it.
if you love it, yeah, that's actually good. I'm gonna steal that from you as well. But nah, the this for you page is going to be something that when you enable it will like, let's see, customize what people see when they're on your page based on their own viewing history. So what that means to me is like if my wife visits the page and she never watches music tutorials, but she mostly watches more of the fun vlog stuff or the stuff for my daughter or like whatever that type of like Khordmaster Keys interviews, it'll recommend those things to
That'd
her.
be perfect.
Bro, I'm so excited for that. If it were, I mean, I was gonna say if it works the way it should, it's like, hey, wait a second, YouTube already has the ability to customize your own like general for you
Feed.
page. So
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course it should be able to do that within a channel.
Individual
So,
pages. Yeah,
bro, I think
individual
that's huge
channels.
for me. It'll empower me to lean more into not the niching down thing, which I've always pushed back for like 2 or 3 years because I don't like the way that feels for me creatively. I just want to do what I do.
Yep.
And this will hopefully allow for me to do that and for people to visit and like get what they want to see within the page. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't say game changing, but I think it'll be just helpful to get the right stuff to the right people.
Yeah. I think we're throwing the game changing
Oh,
term around very loosely in the iOS community. Very
agreed. And
loosely.
just in general, maybe, right? Just yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
for sure.
And that's why I was so upset about people saying that they're deleting apps because
Mm,
Logic Pro is coming. It's like, all right, well, if if you want to spend a month relearning a DAW, if that
hmm.
inspires you, cool. But if it doesn't, you're making a big mistake.
Right, right. Well, I think that's the thing. Like what I keep leaning on our guy Henny, but he had so many good points to make. I mean, he basically said if you're musically feeling good, like keep going. Like I'm
Yeah,
doing good. I'm gonna maybe not sign up for the month right away with Logic. I mean, I probably will sign up right away because I'm going to be curious, but I'm not going to dive into that until I feel like I need to. With video editing, I need a little extra. I need something different. I need something a different workflow to kind of make me hopefully enjoy that process more. So that's why that feels a little bit more interesting to me.
yeah.
I will
Even
say,
even
flipping.
Jacob Hack said it too, though. He said that if you're a
Mm-hmm,
Cubasis guy, then you're a Cubasis guy. It's not
uh-huh.
gonna be it's not gonna be an app that kind of shoves that out of the way unless you're already used to that workflow. You
Yeah,
know, you're
and
gonna
so
you're gonna be real frustrated when it comes to Logic
I was
if you didn't
thinking
like
that
GarageBand.
like a Logic and a Cubasis in terms of being someone who's only used each of those a very tiny amount, but understands them as like more of your traditional linear types of DAWs, whereas an
Hmm.
Ableton, which has both, which I use
Hmm.
pretty extensively, and something like Gadget is more of like this vertical workflow, like clip launching type thing. And so I would
Logic
have
has the clip
thought
launcher.
it does have, but so it has both, right? Because you have the
Yeah,
linear
yeah.
stuff for sure, but it also has
Hmm.
clip. Okay, and more recently, I think with 10 or something, did they implement
Yep.
that like
Yep.
live loops? They call it.
10.2 was my like I man,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
and I think I did a couple of videos on it. Even when they first did the Logic remote updates. That
Oh,
was whew,
which is the iPad remote? Is that what that is?
yeah,
Did that
yeah,
work well for
yeah.
you? Because the reviews seem like it
It
sucked,
st-
but I haven't
it
tried it.
still works well for me.
Uh,
I use
wait,
it. I
I
every time
see.
I open up
Oh, I
Logic,
can't
I'm
read the
using it.
comment. I was reading this comment. Hang on, let me see. What is it? Live chat. All right, I saw your video about Logic Pro on iPad. I'm excited to see it, but at the same time, I like the rich ecosystem of mobile music production with all the flexibility. Yo, these chats be going by so they like vanish so fast. I can't read that fast. Um, but yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, I think I don't know. It's good news for everyone. I think it's just going to be a matter of who, like how it affects you individually. It's gonna vary from person to person.
Yeah,
Um, but it's we won't forget the day that we got the news. I will, it's that momentous. That's what it
man.
boils down to.
I know, like in my review, I think, or not review, but in my announcement video, I was reenacting me crying, but that's literally how I felt.
Yeah, yeah,
I was screaming, and my wife walked up to me and was like, "Yo, like you,
yeah.
you good?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"No,
No, this is like
no, it's
you did the two hand, like when you
yeah,
like
yeah."
try to dry, you
Oh
don't
my
want
god,
the tears to
it's
come
happening.
down. Bro, it be like that. And I think
Nah, yeah.
and then we'll wrap up. I think the big thing for me too is like what it's going to mean from a competitive standpoint for the other companies, right? The
Hmm.
other companies who are looking at this. And I'm curious, put my MBA hat on for a minute. Like are they more scared and intimidated by what's happening, or are they more like, okay, like I see what's going on? Like that to me is
How
a
I
big
see
question.
it,
Uh-huh.
how I see it is that Apple literally just turned on the bat signal. This was a
Mm-hmm.
statement.
Mm-hmm.
Even if this doesn't go well, this was a statement. Think about it. Apple does not coincidentally, uh, or they don't just casually drop apps.
Mm. Yeah,
Apple doesn't. No,
correct.
no, 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 no. This was a very strategic drop, and this was a very strategic nod to music creators because for years they would cater heavily to the camera community,
Okay.
even with
How
the
so? Meaning
even with their
photography and then the
iPhones. Yeah,
film
yeah,
photo
with the
editing?
iPhones and
Okay.
like it, music wasn't taken as serious as far as hardware.
Okay.
Because they, if it was, they do less camera bumps and
Mm-hmm.
more audio ports.
Agreed. 100%. Like a headphone. Are you saying like a headphone jack still would still be there?
Headphone jack
Agreed.
will still be
Agreed.
there.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, more ports for external devices. They would be there. So
Mm-hmm.
they prioritized. Oh, the camera community only needs a dongle to do this, or
Mm-hmm.
camera community needs a 12 megapixel.
Hmm.
Now they're dialing back and kind of observing. Oh, we have both.
Yeah.
You
Princess
know what
says
I mean?
facts. Yep. So true. So
And
true.
so. if they prioritize music in the first place, that the audio jack would have never disappeared.
You're so right, man. Having
Yeah,
that be there still would be like, sure, people like, oh, USB-C, get a dongle, do this, do that.
and that's why
Sometimes
I'm
you
not
just,
running out to buy a new iPad no time soon.
because you think eventually what they might bring it back.
The hardware is going to show up.
Okay,
Hardware,
meaning
and
what?
that's just
What
my
do you
prediction.
anticipate? What do you
I'm
anticipate?
anticipating, and Henny disagrees with me on this one, but I'm anticipating some musical, uh, um, sort of like the you remember the when I was doing the sensomorphs and stuff like that.
Mm,
I'm anticipating some hardware like that. I'm
okay,
hoping
gotcha.
for it. I
Like
can't
an
I can't.
accessory to come, like an accessory, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Not only accessories, but hopefully they bring more attention for third party accessories. Um,
okay. I need
to
more. I don't understand. Attention to third party accessories, meaning like a MIDI keyboard, or
so
what do you mean
yeah, yeah.
attention?
So for I want to say maybe 2 years, their CME products were sold inside of Apple stores.
Oh, I did not know that. Is that right?
Yeah,
Really? Wow.
for like two
Like
years straight.
the X key, yeah, that's what
I think it
CME
was
is,
like
right?
2016,
Huh.
2016,
Okay.
2017. The CME X Key Air. It wasn't even X Key Air yet. It was still just the CME X Key.
Yeah. Real quick,
Before,
the difference is the Apple. What? Oh, this freaking thing! You can't even keep the
the
chat
Apple
up. I hate
Wall
it. You see it?
Garden.
Okay. Yeah. What does that mean? Hopefully, Logic is
Hopefully, Logic
gonna
is going to
be
be
more
more
open
open
than,
there.
meaning you could play. What do you think he means by that? More open?
So, so like that. That's what I was saying before, where GarageBand was um, Logic Pro Lite. There are
Mm.
things that you can do and manipulate things inside of Logic Pro,
Mm-hmm.
like the quick sampler. That's
Mm.
gonna that's gonna change the game. That's
What's
gonna
quick sampler?
The quick sampler in Logic
Mm-hmm.
does this time warp thing without you having to set the tempo or whether
Okay.
or even bringing in 808s. Let's say you bring in a sample, it'll automatically change it to the project's key.
Oh. Oh. That
Yeah,
sounds crazy. It sounds like
yeah.
a cheat, like you're cheating, but in a
Oh,
good way. Like,
it was a
yeah,
very good cheat code.
yeah, for
So
sure.
since
Okay.
10.2, I've been drooling over all of those features, and
Hmm.
where you have to do all that stuff manually in BeatMaker 3,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
man, Logic is it's going to be more open. Now, my biggest concern is again why I said I won't be buying an iPad anytime soon is
Mm-hmm.
storage.
Okay. Meaning.
On desktop, Logic to run Logic appropriately on desktop, you need at least
Mm-hmm.
59 to 68 gigs of storage just for the library.
Wow. Okay.
This has
Okay. That's a
nothing to
lot.
do with third-party plugins. This has nothing to do with add-ons, and they're advertising they're advertising uh, producer packs and stuff like that.
Yeah. 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 For
That's
sure.
additional. That's not gonna be. I don't think that's gonna be built in. I hope not,
Okay.
because if I don't
Meaning
want that, I should be able to opt out.
to not have to take, not so much. Those are going to be things that are free, I'm assuming,
Yeah, but
but
if I
you
can't
don't.
delete it
Yeah.
because of
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
iOS,
Gotcha. For
then now that's
storage reasons, right?
yeah, yeah. Now that's
Huh.
18 to 20 gigs of space that
Just
I
stuff
didn't need your
that's.
producer packs.
I got you. I got you. So you're thinking about storage from the standpoint of whenever, like, basically, how much storage would this take up?
I
Nowhere, it's not
remember
going to
when
be
I
on
first got
59.
started making videos on the iPad. I
Yeah.
had a 64 gig Pro,
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And I was so frustrated because I only had 64 gigs to work with on LumaFusion.
Okay. Yep.
And at the time,
Very limiting.
I couldn't use an external device to edit off of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Same thing is happening with this.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
if you got 256 gigs on an iPad Mini, you might be okay. But
Mm-hmm.
anything under 128 gigs, you might as well not even. pay for the subscription. Don't even download
Mm,
Logic.
you got to figure out you got to get some more storage somehow.
Yeah,
Get a new
yeah,
upgrade or something. What you're thinking? Okay, okay,
yeah.
interesting, interesting. I'm
That's
curious
how
to
I
see
feel.
what that number is going to look like. What percent? What amount of storage it's going to take? I was going to say I can't
At
imagine
least
it being
60
anywhere.
gigs.
You think so on the iPad? I can't even imagine that being the case.
If
To
they're
install the
bringing
program.
every Alchemy alone,
Mm-hmm.
Alchemy and Alchemy's sampler
Mm-hmm.
and the producer packs, the effects that they're bringing in.
Mm-hmm.
GarageBand, I believe, is like I think 20 gigs. Don't quote
Got you.
me on that.
Resolve. Okay. Okay.
Don't quote me on that. GarageBand by itself is like 20 gigs
Okay.
if you are utilizing it the right way, right?
Huh. Okay.
For Logic Pro to come to iPad OS, you're going to be looking at so many different things, plus the 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 the, the pre-existing apps that we already have. If you have
Mm-hmm.
projects in BeatMaker 3,
Mm-hmm.
all those files are still going to be there. If you have projects in Cubasis, all those files are still going to be there. If you have Pure Synth Platinum, any of the BeatHawk apps or
Mm-hmm.
expansions, these are huge downloads,
Right.
huge
Right.
downloads, and
Right.
and looking at the Pure Synth Platinum uh, infrastructure, those sounds are very very detailed, and I don't think that um, Logic is going to give us anything less than that. And so
Hmm.
I'm just comparing the file size
I
versus,
got you.
you know what I mean, like versus
I
the
got you.
quality.
Yeah. So
And
you're thinking somewhere pretty.
every time you have a nice sounding library, the file sizes are huge.
What size iPad do you have? You have 11, or you got the bigger or
I
mini?
got the 11-inch
Okay.
2018 Pro.
Okay. So I have a 2018 Pro, 12.9. Bro, I have a mini too, and I was using the mini, for a while because it's smaller, and I was using my sling and everything. But then
Yeah,
recently I went back to the Pro, and I'm like, I mean, the 12, the bigger size Pro. I'm like, nah, like the mini. Oh, battery's about to die. Cool, that's good timing. I'm like, yo, the mini is amazing for what it is, but for me, I'm so used to that additional real estate with all the apps that I use, and I have
yeah,
like I carry my book bag, my like teenage engineering, repping the book bag. I have the bag and stuff that I carry, and it fits right in.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm I'm so glad to be back to the bigger, more real estate. Like it's like for me a no brainer.
Same.
It's like I need that extra space. The mini is now relegated to the house. I use it for like a second screen when I'm
So
doing maybe certain things.
I'm backwards on that. So I'm using the Pro for the house
Mm-hmm.
and the Mini for on the go. That's like my sketch
Mm-hmm.
pad. That's
Mm-hmm.
my Loopy Pro Koala sampler. That's like my
Mm-hmm.
quick. I gotta get strong ideas out and into this world on the Mini because it's
Got it.
portable. I can take it
Got it.
wherever.
Yep.
The Pro is like, all right, I'm sitting at the dining room table. I can see this stuff. I can get it done. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm using this at the house.
See, that makes more sense for sure. I think for me, what I've realized is that the way that I'm kind of traversing and going around right now and stuff, if I'm able to carry my mini, I can carry my pro for me, like because I have the book bag. I don't even carry that sling anymore. I guess when I was carrying the sling, it was
I got the sling. I got this sling from Chrome. What is it? Chrome. I forget the name of it, but it's a
uh-huh,
really
uh-huh.
slim sling. And
Oh
I
yeah,
got
that's
my X
cool.
Key Air. The everything
Oh,
that's slim inside. It
yeah.
fits all in one
So
thing.
you
So it
carry your
doesn't even
MIDI
look like I'm
controller.
carrying much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, Princess said something here too. So Princess is part of. I got to give her a shout out. She's a part of Henny's Patreon, right? And she's well at first, I don't know. I know you joined one of them like a while ago. He invited you there. But we've been like playing music,
Yeah,
right? Playing music that we work on and get feedback and stuff. So Princess wasn't making music when we first started. She was more so listening to everyone's giving feedback and stuff. And she always says when it's appropriate. I really like it. That song gets. I can't do it if I'm holding it, but that song gets a 2 thumbs up. But Princess now has been using GarageBand, learning it, making music in it and is really, really an amazing thing to see. How someone who
Nice.
week after week she's dropping stuff that's not like okay sounding, but great sounding and super diverse, and seeing Henny's reaction, seeing others' reaction, like another one, like week after week after week after week. So I gotta give a shout out to her because it's super inspiring, and I'm curious to see someone like her, using GarageBand to do what she's doing, taking 30 days if she feels like it's the right move for her, to see what she's able to do as she transitions into something a little bit more sophisticated like Logic.
Yeah, that's usually when people ask me, how to get started making beats on the iPad. I tell them use what you already have, and
Yeah,
that's GarageBand is you can't go wrong with GarageBand. Um,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the things that you can do in GarageBand is pretty impressive. So GarageBand on crack being Logic Pro, that's going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I'm excited to see Apple flex with the touchscreen abilities.
yeah. That's exactly it. What
Yeah,
are they able to do to make it a different, similar but different experience versus
yeah,
what people are used to on Mac? And for me, the thing that's going to be interesting, like I know Henny, I heard him mention about like using Loopy Pro within, because Loopy Pro now is AUV3, and you can do the same with Koala and stuff like that.
mm,
For me, the thing that's going to be, I think, telling to determine whether or not I see the real value in a Logic for my workflow is whether or not I'd be able to use Logic as sort of a standalone, and the only thing that I'm bringing into it maybe are some AUV3s, right? So
yeah, yeah.
specifically, if I need to bring Koala in there or Loopy Pro in order to sample or in order to do one of these types of things because I'm more used to it, then it's
You
not
don't
gonna,
need it.
for me, it's not gonna be worth it for me,
Yeah,
right? At that
yeah,
point. So
yeah.
but from everything I'm hearing, from what you share, from what others shared about Logic, which I don't have experience with, like the sampler in Logic is legit. The
The
sequencer in Logic
sampler.
is legit. So
Yes.
it might be that. And time will tell. No need to force the issue. Just like take 30 days every time I go out. It's gonna be fun as hell, bro. Imagine that, going to these cafes or sitting out here and just like exploring this new world and seeing if it works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't for me. And now, it's like it's cool either way. But definitely on that video editing, you better believe that if they did what I think they did with it, like, hey, I'm gonna be rocking with that. I'm gonna explore that and see how that works for me. Um,
Yeah.
and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, but pro workflows bring pro apps bring pro workflows, and I'm excited to see what type of inspiration it sparks in me. So I'm
Yeah, dude.
I hope to be a different creator with these different tools. I don't want to be the same creator
Yeah,
with these
yeah,
with
that's
these
a
tools.
great way to put it. That's a great way
So
to put it. And they should, for a subscription base and for them being professional, they really should do that. They really
yeah,
should do that. And I'm curious to see how they do it. And I mean, like of course it's going to be dope, right? I mean, they're not going to. I don't think they're dropping the ball with something like this. I think they've been working on this for a long time.
yeah, and
And
that's why it's subscription based, man, because of how many hours
uh-huh.
they had to put into this.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
was 10 years in the making. This wasn't something that they started doing because people requested it. It was already. I'm pretty sure it
Yeah.
was already on the table
Real talk.
whole
All right.
time.
Yo, this was dope. I'm glad you put it in the atmosphere. This is kind of what I think I needed today as well, just to get out and connect with someone like this, and even we got a few people in there, and hopefully others will have a chance to listen in. I probably got I got to change the title name. I didn't even I just put like the default one, which they have now on YouTube. It's like Khordmaster Goes Live or something. So I'll like
Okay,
maybe update it a little bit when I get home. But this was cool. I look forward to doing more of these. Any
for
last
sure, man.
words?
I don't have any last words. Um, wait, wait to buy a new iPad before
Mm.
you, and wait to download um, Logic Pro. Just hang tight.
Mm.
Just let's
Wait,
think
meaning
about this
don't
for a
do it on
second.
the 23rd right away
Well,
for people who are on the fence.
don't buy a new iPad right now,
Uh huh. Uh
and
huh.
yeah, let's see what Logic Pro is doing before we buy new iPads.
I got you. And I guess
Yeah,
one more thing is like, and is the fact that these two things that are coming out could mean, in addition to helping our workflows and creativity, it can also mean for people like you and I who are content creators and making tutorials and stuff. This could be sort of the dawn of a new era where if it works for us, both of these or one of these, and we're enjoying using it, and we're still in that creative mode or like educational mode to share stuff, we can be
Yeah.
on the forefront, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like we can make a
Yeah.
dope ass
Yeah.
video if we wanted,
Or
or
or people who have been desktop users for a while and have ranking in those types of videos.
okay,
They may come over to the iOS producer
right?
community.
That's true. So competition, but that's never
Well,
bad.
not I
But I
don't
know
see it
what
as
you mean.
competition. I see it as new family members
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
for
And
me.
we're learning from each other, right? At the end of the day,
Exactly.
we're learning from each other.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's a really good way of putting it. People who use them already can give their spin on the iOS version. People who haven't, like you've actually used both, or I think both of them you mentioned. So you'll have even a more, I think, like a stronger case to say, hey, you have best of both worlds. Me, I'm coming
yeah.
from just the iOS world. I know about
Okay.
touch interface and stuff like that. So it's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to it. It's that. So real quick, those two things. There's a lot happening. The fact that the Knicks are balling again as of yesterday, I was very happy to see that they won. The fact that the most anticipated video game of all time, the sequel to Legend of Zelda, drops tomorrow, which
Woo!
I can't wait for. I'm
Yeah.
ecstatic for Tears of the Kingdom. Cannot wait. And then two of my favorite shows of all time are coming back in June. Black Mirror, they just dropped the trailer. Cannot
Okay.
wait. It's like that's a life
I remember you
changing
told me
event. If
that
y'all
the other day.
Yes, yeah. I gotta text you. I gotta text you some episodes to watch, and then something that's very outlandish, but Eric Andre show, which is my favorite like comedy show because it speaks to me with my weirdness and stuff. If people watched it, if whoever watches it, like, wait, you watched that? Like you seem like you got it together, Kev. I don't. It's all up front. I don't got it together. I'm weird as hell. Y'all gonna see more of that weirdness on my channel coming soon. But I appreciate you, bro, for joining, and
Hey man,
Princess
thanks for
and
having me, bro.
my guy. Let me see the person's name. I forgot already. Resolve. Yeah, I appreciate you guys joining as well. And there'll be a lot more of these to come. Brandon Rico, have a good one, bro. And we'll talk soon. All right.
All right, talk to y'all later, man.
Peace.